die. Go too fast. I'm taking 3.
I'm going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your 2?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course. And today we are going to take a look at a battle on Fault Line. This was submitted by SlientShark, a subscriber just like yourselves. And if we notice the matchmaker there are no battleships in this battle. No, none whatsoever. So this was a crazy battle just to start off with. I mean, no battleships, right? This does not happen very often. I believe the highest tier ship on either team is a tier 6. The enemy team has a Cleveland as being their best ship, or, you know, the highest tier cruiser. And then SlientShark's team here has a Nuremberg as being their best cruiser. So this was interesting. And as well, that you can tell from the title, it is an epic comeback video as well, yes. So things are going to get a little crazy here. But anyway, now as well, before we get too far into it, I will mention that I do not have screenshots at the end of the video to show off SlientShark's results here. Not really that big of a deal, because this was frankly an epic comeback by the team, right? There was no sort of one person here who really made it go. It was just, yeah, a good team effort here. Anyway, we are in the Isakaze, and like I say, we're on Fault Line here, so immediately, you know, SlientShark is going to get himself into the middle, get himself into B, and that's generally and usually a really good call on this map when you're in a destroyer. B is, you know, always going to be the critical point here on this map, considering it's the middle point. So if you can take B, it gives your team the flexibility to either cap A or C, depending on, you know, sort of enemy resistance they come across at those cap zones. Anyway, in the meantime, SlientShark is just getting himself into B, right? Getting himself slowly into B here, taking a look around to see what is going to be popping up, and you know, what he can do about it. Now again, you know, we are in the Isakaze, and this is not the first time we've seen the Isakaze on the channel. It's a great little tier 4 destroyer. Even with this matchmaking, you know, with tier 6s in game, the Isakaze is not going to be struggling with that at all. What is the range on the kilometers on the range of the torpedoes on the Isakaze? I'm pretty sure there's 7-kilometer torpedoes, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, with that sort of range and with the detectability of the Isakaze here, you really don't have a whole lot of trouble firing off your torpedoes without actually getting seen. Now we do see an enemy destroyer there off the distance right. SlientShark briefly popped up as being spotted. There he goes again, but he's getting himself in behind this island here. So pretty much knows that the enemy destroyer is going to be somewhere in and around the other side of this island, right? So this is an excellent opportunity to set up a nice little ambush on the enemy destroyer here. You can see the enemy destroyer, or at least one of the enemy destroyers, because there's a few on the enemy team here, has launched off torpedoes. So we still need to be cautious about torpedoes, but, you know, probably we're not going to have to worry about them too much. So we're going to launch off our torpedoes. We can see that the enemy Nicholas has popped up. There he is there. So torpedoes are away. Now there was no indicator on those torpedoes, right? Obviously the Nicholas wasn't selected as being the target to fire at. However, it still ends up working out quite well indeed. Now you can see SlientShark is taking a bit of a beating here. Right, lost the engine, lost the steering, and no big deal though. I mean, we are able to just repair that damage and move along. We are still spotted at this point in time, but hopefully, you know, once this Nicholas over here goes down, there he goes, Nicholas is gone, we won't have to worry about being spotted anymore, and in fact that's true, we're not spotted anymore at all. So the torpedoes that were launched didn't actually mount anything. I thought they did. I guess it's this spread here that actually mounted to a few things here. But anyway, I mean, the reload speed on the Isakaze is really phenomenal. You know, you don't have to wait very long at all. It was at 30-something seconds. No big deal at all. So we're launching torpedoes off the Phoenix in the background. We can see him there. Now the Phoenix is just outside our torpedo range, at least at the time that we fired off the first salvo, right? But I mean, keep in mind the Phoenix is sailing right towards us, so you don't really have to worry in this situation about your torpedoes not having the range to get to the target, especially if the target is coming straight at you. And there we go. We get one torpedo hit on the Phoenix, and the Phoenix is gone. So fantastic. The enemy ships have lost 3 of their ships so far versus the 5 that SlientShark's team has lost so far. So I mean, things aren't going so great at this time, obviously. We do notice as well that the points in the top of the map there, that SlientShark's team is not doing very well at all, right? The enemy team has managed to capture A, has captured C. The hold that SlientShark has on B is pretty damn secure. The problem here is that none of the other allied ships at this point in time are actually going and making moves on another cap, right? You do see some allied ships over there on the east side of the map, in and around C, right? We see them over there, but there were a number of enemy ships over there as well. And those enemy ships are, giving the allied ships over there a bit of an issue, bit of a hard time, and those allied ships just aren't able to actually get into that C point and start capping, or at least contest it, right? Because right now the points continue to climb up, which is never really that good. We do see a few more enemy ships here off in the distance. It's a number of cruisers. I think it's 3 merments actually, which was crazy enough to see. No, they're not in divisions. Just 3 different merments all grouped up here. So this is a pretty threatening target. You can see that SlientShark is now spotted, and he has shots incoming. Now he's getting fairly lucky with these incoming shots, right? A lot of them are missing, but this luck is not going to hold out for too much longer, unfortunately. We do have torpedoes on the way for the merments, and the first 2 merments were able to dodge the torpedo spread. We still have torpedoes on the way for the 3rd mermensk, so maybe we might be able to hit that player with a few torpedoes and do some damage. We got him with 1, so that's better than nothing anyway. At least it took a quarter health off the mermensk there. Now this is where things start to get a little real. SlientShark is about to die, right? He's got 2 fires going, can't repair the damage. He does have his smoke screen up right now, which is really helping out. You can see some of these shots coming in are just missing altogether. But what really does it here is the fact that the ship is on fire. Yeah, just can't put out the fire in time. But whatever, doesn't matter. I mean, SlientShark, played a fairly decent game there while he was alive. And now we're going to jump over to some of the other players in the game here as well, see what they're doing. So we're over here on the Ashan. This, of course, is a Tier 6 Chinese destroyer. And you notice the screen will get a little jumpy every now and then. That's because as it was switching over, the replay was switching over to another player, I forgot that I actually had to click a button to make sure I snap to that view as opposed to just like a free camera view. But anyway, that's all that was. So we're in the Yashan now, taking a look around, right, continuing to see what's going on. You can see that the enemies are putting pressure on B, right? So this is kind of tragic. We really need to keep B at least 1 point. We need to have at least 1 point to sort of have just any sort of chance of winning it all here, right? So yeah, it kind of sucks that the enemy's over here at B. Now, we do still have a few allies who are alive, right? And in fact, 2 enemy ships just got destroyed, so that is fantastic indeed. But we do really need to start pushing these merments out of B so that they're no longer contesting the zone, and that, our team will continue to gain points. More importantly, though, we also need to start thinking about taking another cap. You cannot survive with just the 1 cap, unless, of course, obviously the enemy team is just being fairly dense, and you're able to just take out their enemy, take out all of their ships before it really becomes an issue. And I mean, that's not unheard of. We've seen a few battles like that before. But generally speaking, too, with these epic comeback battles, it usually does come down to both capping and killing the enemies. There's usually those 2 different aspects that need to come together in order for you to get an epic comeback battle like this. And that's essentially what we're seeing here as well, right? I mean, we're still with the Ashan. We do see the Nuremberg off in the distance, so this Nuremberg is a really big threat. And in fact, the Nuremberg the Cleveland was top of the list, but the Nuremberg is like, the second ship there on the list. So this is one of the more dangerous ships in this match anyway. And the Nuremberg has no issue at all with just slaughtering destroyers. I can tell you that from first-hand experience. Speaking about the Nuremberg as well, I have been trying out the new hull, the new C hull on the Nuremberg. I've been enjoying it. My biggest gripe with it, though, is I put on the C hull and I get my defensive fire going and whatnot, get into a battle, no aircraft carriers, so there's that. But anyway, unfortunately the Ashan did get taken out by the Nuremberg, so now we're going to switch over here to the Buddy, and you can see that the Buddy is engaging a Königsberg right now. I believe it's a Königsberg, anyway, trying to take this Königsberg down, right? I don't think it's Konigsberg. Whatever. Trying to take this player down. It's the Murmansk. Yes, that's right. The Murmansk. One of those Murmansk. Anyway, Murmansk is gone. Fantastic. Our buddy is still alive. The buddy also managed to avoid the incoming torpedoes from the Nuremberg that was just on the other side of the island, right? We know that that player is still there. The buddy player was not willing to go out and beyond the island, which is probably a pretty decent call, especially considering the amount of hit points that this player has remaining, right? It probably wouldn't work out too well. But when I have this many hit points and I have torpedoes on my ship, that is usually the one thing that I'm trying to do before I die, is trying to set up some sort of ambush to take someone with me. That, you know, generally speaking, that's going to be my goal. So at this point in time, it is 3 versus 3, right? The enemy team has 3 ships remaining. They've got the Nuremberg. I believe that there is still the Cleveland about, and they have a destroyer. Whereas SlientShark's team has the Buddy here. We've got another cruiser. I believe it's a Murmansk. And then we do have a Farragut for our destroyer. So, yeah, things aren't looking too great at this point in time, right? Especially considering that the Allied team, SlientShark's team here, still only has 1 cap. You can see the Farragut, though. I mean, the Farragut is all over this, not just gonna fool around, do nothing, right? The Farragut is on making his way over there to A to start capping that zone, which is fantastic. We need that cap. Problem is, though, yes, there's a problem. The enemy team has so many points right now. You know, it's questionable as to whether or not there's even enough time with 2 caps to win this battle. It is going to come down to actually killing the remaining enemy ships. It's really the only way to guarantee victory at this point in time, because anything could happen, right? Even if you have 2 caps, one of the enemy ships could sneak in and take the cap from you. There is the Nuremberg. Nuremberg pops up. Oh, it made me cringe when I saw that the buddy died without launching torpedoes, but whatever. I mean, you don't always have time to get those torpedoes off, right? And the buddy goes down. So now there are only 2 Allied ships remaining. We've got the Farragut and we've got the Murmansk. We're switching over to the Murmansk here. You can see the Murmansk just took a big hit from that Cleveland there on fairly low health, but notice the Murmansk does have torpedoes in the water, right? And the enemy Cleveland is not going to be able to avoid these torpedoes, and he is going to take all 3 torpedoes. So we can see 1, 2, 3, there they go, and the Cleveland manages to hold on. Oh man, and this Murmansk, this friendly Murmansk has what, like 235 hit points or something like that? So it's not necessarily looking that great at this time. One thing to keep in mind though is we have not seen the single remaining enemy destroyer as of yet. No, we haven't seen that destroyer. So, you know, there has been some speculation in chat about the whereabouts of this destroyer and whether or not that player is in fact AFK. We'll have to let the battle progress here a little more to get a final answer on that one. Anyway, in the meantime, the Nuremberg did make his way into B and has started to cap B as well. So the Farragut player, you know, after capping A is not going to have any of that, because again, 890 points now to the 445. Yeah, we need that second cap. Has to happen. Ideally as well, we would get the 3rd cap. That would be pretty bitchin' as well. So we can see the Farragut player is just going to be cruising his way over to B, right? Trying to get into this B point. You got to be a little careful though in these situations, because you know that the enemy Nuremberg is in B. Somewhere in B, right? Going back over to the Murmansk did just kill the Cleveland, by the way, which is fantastic. Nothing wrong with that at all. Getting a little close-up look here at the Murmansk. I know it's an Omaha, but, you know, she still looks like a great little ship anyway. Yeah, so the Cleveland is gone. We have the 1 enemy destroyer. We have the 1 enemy Nuremberg remaining. And the enemies still do have 2 caps. Now, in the meantime, obviously, the Farragut is still cruising over to B, trying to get into that B cap zone. And again, we know that the Nuremberg was in and around B, right? So we want to be a little careful here. We don't necessarily just want to go in and get killed right away, have the Nuremberg look at us and kill us. That would kind of suck. So we need to play this a little safely, and luckily as well, the friendly Murmansk here sort of picks up on what's going on, right, and realizes that there's not really any point to getting into B, because, I mean, the Farragut's almost there anyway. The best place for the Murmansk at this point in time is going to be to take the C zone. right? If that Murmansk can take the C zone, and if the Farragut can kill the Nuremberg, we might actually get victory out of this. Maybe. Depends too on what that enemy destroyer is saying, right? If the enemy destroyer is not having any of it, things aren't going to go so well. Now just take a look at this this little upcoming bit here. I was really surprised to see the Nuremberg just sitting there. I didn't think that the Nuremberg player would just be sitting there like this. I don't know what was going through this player's mind, but okay, whatever. You can see the Farragut is all over this. The Nuremberg suddenly realizes what a horrible mistake he has made, and there we go. Nuremberg is gone. Fantastic. Look at the points though. 938 is what the enemy has right now, right? Versus a 607 to the Allies. So things are getting really fast. We still have the Murmansk on his way over to C. Now C is the only zone that the enemies are actually gaining points on right now, right? Because, I mean, A is under Ally hands, B is being capped right now, C is the only place that they're actually gaining points. But it is incredibly close. We need the Murmansk to get into C and to start capping C. We need it. And in the meantime as well, the Farragut is cruising on over to C. Both players remaining realize how close everything is at this point in time, right? And realize what exactly they need to do in order to get victory. At this point in time, the only thing that could screw this up is the enemy destroyer. If that enemy destroyer decides to go over to A and start capping A, it is all over. 974 points for the enemy, 978 points for the enemy. The Murmansk is still not at the C cap zone. Still trying to steam as quickly as humanly possible to get into that zone and start capping it. 986 points now. Yes, getting incredibly close. The Murmansk is just on the outskirts of the C zone now, so hopefully the Murmansk is going to get in there. 994 points, and there we go. The Murmansk has started to cap C. Wow. I know. Oh man, this was incredibly close. Incredibly close. So 994 points is where SlientShark's team manages to stop the cap. Fantastic. The Murmansk is now in C, starting to cap C. We do still have the Farragut on his way over to C as well, just, I don't know, to help out, right? In case the enemy destroyer shows up. If the enemy destroyer shows up, I'm sure that by now most of you have realized the enemy destroyer is in fact AFK. Yes. Yes. I know. I couldn't believe it myself. It wasn't until, you know, we start seeing in chat talking and someone even poses to the enemy team, you know, is the destroyer AFK? And one member of the enemy team confirms it. Yep, enemy destroyer is AFK. Fantastic. Now all SlientShark's team has to do here is survive. That's all they have to do. There's nothing more that's going to actually shoot at them. I mean, the enemy destroyer is AFK, right? Unless that destroyer is a bot, there's nothing that's going to shoot at them. So the Murmansk is safe, more or less. We know that the Murmansk probably isn't going to die. Now, I mean, one ship dies and it's over, or one cap zone gets lost, it's over. But again, we get really lucky and see that, yeah, enemy destroyer is AFK. Couldn't believe it. And I mean, this goes to show as well, I mean, why you really don't want to go AFK if you can avoid it. Now, I know that sometimes just totally unavoidable. Like, I was playing a match in my Nuremberg yesterday, the day before, I believe, and my internet went down. It was, again, something to do with the internet service provider and their software updates or whatever the fuck they're doing. I don't know. But the internet just like flicked. It went on and off. And as a result, I got dropped from the match, and I never actually made it back into the match because of reasons. Anyway, it happens, right? It happens, and sometimes it's just totally unavoidable. But if you can avoid it, you really should try, because you can see, I mean, in this situation here, all the enemy destroyer had to do is, well, one, not be AFK, but two, just go into any cap, and just start taking it. That would have ensured victory. 979 points now to the 994. We never actually do catch a glimpse of the enemy destroyer. In fact, so obviously this enemy destroyer spawned somewhere on the west, right? Somewhere over there on the west. It doesn't matter. Battle is over, and victory is ours. Wow, what a crazy little battle that was. I saw it, and I mean, I knew in the subject line there of the email, right, when SlientShark sent it in, that it was going to be an epic comeback. So I knew that there was going to be a little bit of some epicness going on here. Anyway, like I say, I don't have any screenshots, but whatever. We got to see the battle. So leave any comments you have for me in the video comment section below. Hit the old like button if you did like today's video. Hit subscribe if you are not a subscriber. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.